So basically, till Sif Yud Zayin, we basically went through the Rebbe's Mevayer that in Vasba state, what's the Inyan of Chassidus? Is to be Megale and to be Mamshech and to be Megale, the Yechida of Torah, which brings out the Yechida V'Yid. And Yechida basically means the Etzem of Torah. The Torah is one with Atzmos, and the way, and that's Megale the Kesher, the Etzem, the Pnimius of Yid, which is one with Atzmos. All the other Chalkei Torah, they relate and they deal with Elokus. The Elokus is connected to a certain Levush, to a certain Seir. And Al Derech Zeh, they start they're Megale, that aspect in the Yid that's Shaykhas to the Tzir, Behessen to that Chelik in Torah. Let's say Pshat is connected to Elam Asiyah. So that's connected Pchinas HaNefesh, which exists in the Neshama B'Yid. B'Fen Klali. And each Chelik in Torah is the way Ein Sof is Melubish in a certain Levush, and Al Derech Zeh, it reaches that Darg in the Nefesh, which is connected to that Pchina Pratis of Elokum. Mashiach Pnimis HaTorah, Chassidus, not Kabbalah, but Chassidus, is the Etzem Mahus of Torah. The Torah is Miyuchad with Atzmos, and Memele is Megale, the Kesher V'Yid with Atzmos. And Rebbe's Mevayer, two pratim negate Yechida. Number one, since we're dealing with this Inyona, the way the Rambam said Atzmi Salukus, so Memele we're dealing with Atzmos, so it's not Mugder. It's not Mugder. It's not Mugder in Tzir Prati. And Memele, it's not. It gives a chayis. It gives a chayis and a behirus and all other chalkei. It's not that in Chassidus. So then we negate the other chalkei Torah. B'shas Yid becomes connected to Chassidus, so his entire life is affected by it. Every single aspect of his life is affected. First of all, he's in touch with the pnimius of himself, and that pnimius, since it's the pnimius and it's the muhus of everything, and it's not mugder, so maybe it's peila ila in all chalkei nefesh. That's what the Rebbe's Meir in the beginning. The B'shas was Gilei V'Amshachas Hachassidus brought a new chayis, new behirus, and everything involved. Why? Because since Chassidus is Amshach from Pnimis Ein Sof, so B'shas Ein Sof is Nimshach, so it's not, so maybe it's peila ila everywhere. That's then the Rebbe could. So we brought a dogma the way everything is the Chistalka by Raisa Baram, everything Chistalka from Torah. So we brought a dogma where you see this in Torah, that there is the Inyona, the way they are mitzad dalat chalkei Torah, and then there is the way the Inyan is al Chassidus, and then the that Chassidus brings in to all the other four bira. Doesn't think learn till Sif Yud Zayin. So here in Sif Yud Zayin is still another uptouch in this Inyan. It says Pchinas HaYechida L'Yesa Atzmis Eine Shelelis Es a Nefesh Ochen Shama Chaya Adar Rabbe Hi Ha'etzem Shal Kol Madreges HaPratis. So I'm just the Rebbe explains this in a Maimer more with Pratis, but even Klali you have in the you speak about Amshacha or Ashpa from Elyon to Tachtanis, you have Bechlolis three Efanim. You have one Efan is L'Mashal Keches Pnimim Seichel Amidus. So how is so Rav is Masber Seichel to Talmud. So in order for the Talmud to understand the Dvar Seichel, the Rav has to explain it in a way that it should be behesim, that it should be suited to the Meich Talmud. So you have to mit Samson in it, it should be massen to the Meich Talmud. If you want the Talmud to understand the Inyan, it should be neskabel by him. So any Ashpa Primis, so the Ashpa Primis means that the Mekabel should actually absorb it. He should grasp it. So you have to give over the Inyan in a way that should be be'erech, that the Talmud should be able to v'tefes it. If the Inyan is going to stay the way it is higher than the Talmud, so the Talmud is kind of verstehen. That's Ashpa Primis. So Chassidus brings the dogma that someone, let's say, learns how to dance, or someone learns how to write, or someone learns how to art. How is it possible that the yad should be able to write the whole fancy thing? So a person has to go through training. And then there's the mayach, which is in the Gidei Yad. There's a part of the Gidei Yad, which is a keli to skill, which is a keli to it's a certain inyan sichli, and through training, so you're mezachah the klei ayad that it should be a keli for this. So maybe the hands get the skill of music, whatever the instruments, whatever the skill is. That's ashpa primis. That the tachton is mekabel the ashpa in a way that he's nisached with him. So it has to be behessen to the klei mekabel. But then you have the ashpa of ratzon. So when a person wants something, so the ratzon is not, and then the ratzon, a person wants to move his hand. So the ratzon is not mitzamtzim. To be mitzamtzim, so should be behesim to the yad. Person wants, and because the ratzon is shelet in all the yivarim, ratzon stays in the element of ratzon. Ratzon is not mitzamtzim to be behesim to the klei yad. When a person wants, so the yivarim are bottled to the ratzon. So ashpa, that's ashpa. On one hand, the alien stays in his element; he doesn't lower himself down to be in a way that's behesed to the Talmud, but therefore the Mekabel Takanat doesn't internalize the alien. The alien stays higher, and then the Ratzin is Shelet on the Yivar. But then he's not their Pnimius. Pnimius means that becomes the Teich of the Mekabel. In order to become the Teich, only if the Inyan is the Fi'erach the Mekabel. If the Inyan is not the Fi'erach, so the Ratzin is Shelet on the Yivar, but Ratzin bleibt Techer. You see, what's Chayis, on one hand, Chayis is not mitzumtzum. You say, no one's going to say that a person, the Meich is alive, or the Regel is alive. So the Chayis is mitzamtzim, that it should be behesim to how much the Regel is able to handle. If it's going to be mitzamtzim to the Regel, but it won't be a lebedik azach b'chlal. So the Regel is it's not mitzamtzim, but it's Chayis in a way of, the Chayis is not mitzamtzim, it's the etzem nefesh. Even the Chayis pratis is in of Chayis, it's not, whatever, Chayis pratis is not keches pratis. It's a different, there's two, there's keches pratis and Chayis pratis. But get the pratis. I'm saying, when you speak about Chayis, on one hand, Chayis is not the alien is not mitzamtzim himself, to be according to the tzir of the Tachton. You say that in order, since Chayis is malubish in the Ivarim, they themselves contain life. But what do they contain? They contain life the way the nefesh is mitzamtzim itself to be behesim to the aver of the yad. A gashim is the gezach shalei be'erech the Chayis. So you're talking about basar v'atzamas. So what type of tzimtzum is happening here? A Rav being mazel seichel ta'atam, there has to be mazel the seichel in the way the Talmud should be a kid. So the nefesh is mashpia Chayis to the guf. So the Chayis is behesim to a physical thing. Chayis stays in nafshi. It's in of nefesh. But the alien is but the idach is it like Ratzin where the Chayis stays makif, or overwhelms the Avarim, or they alone have life. They're alone alive. So so you have a musik of Pnimius, regular Ashpa Pnimius, the Pshat is the fact that the Ashpa is able to be Pnimius, the Mekabel is able to internalize it, is because the inner that you're giving is Be'erech the Mekabel. Then you have another, from the reason why the Ashpa is Cheder, the Pnimius of the Mekabel, not because the Inyan is a low Inyan Be'erech to the Mekabel, because he's the Mahus of the Mekabel. That's the Pnimius of everything. It's a different Inyan. Chayis is not, it's the Mahus. It's the Pnimius. A person, the Seichel Arbit. A person is feeling. A person is saying, there's a nefesh behind it. What's their life? Their life is the fact that they're connected to a nefesh. It's not it's a whole different, it's a different type of eslapshus. That's the Indian, that's what I was bringing here. The Indian Atzmi is, he's the core of everything. So the core, he's their Pnimius. He's their Mohos. He's their Etzem. He's what gives meaning to the Inyan of Seichel. It's the Pnimius of what Seichel is. The Meil is it's not so it's on one hand it's Pnimius. It means it's in the Teich of the Mekabel. It's not like Ratzin, which Ratzin is based on Makif. Because Ratzin is not the core of everything. Ratzin is not the meaning behind everything. Ratzin is Inyan Prati. You see, you're talking about the Etzem is not the Etzem is not a Prat. I'm just saying it's a different Musik of Pnimius. Let's see the means he's their mohos, he's their core. He's what gives them meaning. They stem from him. It's all different meaning. So it's
become their core now.
The etzem is always their core. The shaila is when you say a person, life is not an additional element to a person. Seichel midas is the Inyan prati. Midas is there's a midas ava, and seichel is not ava. But the Inyan Chayis itself, from when it comes, where does Seichel come from? Because there's no other Machai. Where does Seichel stem from? Because there's a nefesh which is a lebedik azach. Seichel's a pratin is an aspect in how a person is an aspect to enhance his life. But the core of Seichel is that there's no other Machai over here. That's the core of Seichel. It's not an additional aspect in the nefesh. That's the premise of everything. That's the mohus that's carrying the whole thing. So if you bring an example, that you see a person with ratzin, let's say if someone wants something, so let's say a person really wants to accomplish a certain thing, so he's not gonna, even though he's tired, he's gonna push himself, and ratzin is gonna be shelet in all the ivarim. If a person wants something, it's gonna control other keches and nefesh. That the ratzin should be. So that's in a way of controlling. It's not, but the thing with Friedrich brings that someone was once running for his life. He was running from a fire. He was running for his life, and he went through. He's running. He went through a hole. He went through and the way back, and he wanted to go back. He wasn't able to fit. He wasn't able to go in. But when someone's running for his life, but when someone's running for his life, so the guf is going to compress itself more. It's going to compress itself more than naturally the guf is able to compress itself. Any piece of matter could be able to compress itself, but there's how much the teva guf mitzad is going to compress. Mitzad tivai is able to compress himself a certain amount, but when he's running for his life, so mitzad the take of hanefesh that he wants to live, so the guf is going to compress itself shalei be'erech. What mitzad teva guf would be able to handle. So the shayla is das al derech rotzim, which is shaylet on the Ivarim, or there, why was he running for his life? He was running for his life. That's also for the guf's sake. The life is also the premise of the guf. It's not like it's one kayach which is overriding another kayach.
That wasn't like Ratzin per se.
It's more. That's the guf. That's the premise of the guf is to enhance the person. That it's in it. Life is what gives the guf a mahus. What gives the guf a premise. What gives the guf meaning. So without life, the guf came in seriousness. So you say this. It's not a shvira. The guf for its own sake was marked in itself. It's not considered that's not considered like one kayach being controlled by another kayach. That's the chitzonius is bottled to the premise of what this inyan is. It's a different inyan. Of course, seichel is atzir prati and the nefesh is chayis. But what gives seichel meaning is the fact that it's that there's an adam achai, which is maskal, which is the seichel is being. Seichel is not a teite zach, it's an instrument to understand things. It's a tool for a person. So the seichel's premise, seichel's mahus is that it's an aspect in a living being. So chayis is the premise of seichel. It's not just nicht zweite zach. Yeah, but let me say what the Rebbe sagt. Here's so the Jav echad achilukum shemin gili le'etzem. The amitas in le'etzem is an atzmos, but the Rebbe is saying it in a very gili hu inim prati. Yeah, it's a certain function, a certain specific inyan, bligvol, gvol, whatever it is, but it's an inyan prati. And therefore, the agdar of gili is chen ha'inyanim she'enam gili. Shaloi means whatever is not him. Let's say Eira Seif, let's say is what's the pshat giluyim versus etzem? Giluyim has certain inyanim pratim in olukos. The inyan bligvol exists in olukos. This inyan, that inyan. So each inyan has its function. So whatever is, you have the tzir is Eira bligvol, let's say. So whatever is not Eira bligvol, let's say gvol, which is lower than the Eira bligvol. So it's not him. It's not snir zayin inyan. So the snit er. Einam hu, it means it's not his inyan. And v'liyese gili mispashet to shedelis. So if the gili was a ipsig of what gven azam and sartzach, that by nature you have certain things. Say he has his tchum, so then you have your place, he has his place, and there's no there's no he's not shedel the other inyan. So this table is this table, but he's not shedel. He's lechatchila only in his daladamis. Gili is a davar mispashet. It means that his inyan is mitzad inyan gili, mitzad inyan of his galus. His inyan is this galus and this spashtus of this inyan prati, whatever he is. That's Eira bligvol. Inyona is not stamas he's in a bligvol and his bimkaimehu. Inyona is that this aspect of the bligvol of Elokush should be bis spashtus, be his galus. So mitzad chunas say whatever is not bligvol, he negates that inyan. He shelo that inyan. Because sein inyan is as also cheren that in a bligvol was fran Elokush. And whatever is not him, whatever is not behesim to him, whether it's lower than him or whether it's bechlal, whether it doesn't make a difference, is his shelo that inyan. There's a gilmas fash. The shelo leisa. Mash inkin etzem hu atzmis shel kol inyan v'inyan. Atzmis is not the etzem is not an inyan prati. He's the core of everything, the essence of everything. It's a whole different type of inyan. He's not a tzir prati. You speak about chayis leumas. Ratzin is a certain aspect of the nefesh. One of the keiches nefesh is that he could want. One of the keiches nefesh is seichel. Then this what the mahus nefesh itself is not this tzir and not that tzir. It's the mahus nefesh which is the core, which is the carrier of everything. Which ratzin and seichel are two mesharsim to his inyan. He's not mugdar and he's not this tzir, not that tzir. He's in mufshit from tzir. And he's the premise, the core of everything. He's the atzmis, the mahus of every inyan. Oh, so the Rebbe says lachein. Since this is interesting to zach. Other chalakim in Torah, people say that this is opposite of the conception. You say that that Chabad is shadel other elitist chveis. We're shadel other groups or other inyanim. Mashenkin chveis another shit. So They have them. They get to work with everyone. The Rebbe is saying here that a gilui, the teva gilui is that he's Inyan prati. Mela, what's ever not behesem to that gilui, he's shelo that. So someone's into this aspect in Yiddishkeit. So he has his aspect, and those that are not behesem to his aspect, is a shelo zeh. Well, yes, the gilui mispashet. Teva, you have this. This is the Inyan prati, and Inyona is the hispashtus of this Inyan. That this Inyan should be with the ganzer takeif, not just in a certain makim. This Inyan is that this Inyan should be in a ganzer makim. So it's shelo other Inyonim, other Inyonim. It says Mashayk and Chassidus. Chassidus is the etzem. The etzem by definition doesn't negate anything. It brings another life into things, but it doesn't negate any tzir. It brings out the tev, the tchun of the etzem is if it's negating a certain tnuah, then it does not etzem. Then it's Inyan prati. Etzem is that it brings out the life and the meaning behind everything. It gives a new pnimius into everything. It doesn't negate stuff. It negates the havana shitchis of Inyan. It negates the external understanding of the Inyan. It negates the chveis, the yashas of the Inyan. But it's the seichel avade, if the nefesh is misgale, it's shelel chlishus. It's shelel misa. But it's not shelel the Inyan chiyuvi which exists in things. It's not shelel any Inyan chiyuvi. People ask why for a different reason, because it's an other. Yeah, v'lechein mad. Okay, let me just the Sachen verstehen nicht da. V'lechein mad goshes so ikris b'chassidus hu ichod hapratim ma'etzem. That's why the whole nekuda of Chassidus is da andere chalkei Inyona is to bring out, let's say, to bring out the mile of let's say Kabbalah. So the Inyan is not to bring out how this world reflects the emes, how the etzem, how the ultimate truth is expressed in these details. If I care, you want to bring out the truth is higher than these details, and Kabbalah, let's say, is to bring out the secret of things. So you're not dealing with the pratim the way they're in Elam Hazeh. You're bringing out a certain lofty Inyan which is nizgala through Kabbalah or other chalakim Torah. They're bringing out a higher consciousness which is not nizgala in Welt. Mashayk and Chassidus that Goshi is not nicht zu megalas in a hecher zach, but to bring out how that hecher zach is reflected and is the pnimius of the pratim. So Hadgosh is the ikris of Chassidus is ichud hapratim imetzem. Not stam to bring out a hechere Inyan. So on Sareis bring in how the pratim, how the pratim which exist in our world or in any world, the prati amitzias are really a reflection, and their core is this emes which Chassidus is bringing out. Because if Chassidus was the Inyan prati, so you bring out the blik vol of Holocaust, so it's shelo gvul. But Chassidus is not bringing out the blik vol, it's bringing out the etzem of Holocaust, which is not blik vol and agvul. It's the mohus beyond everything. So one of the drashas of Chassidus is to bring out how the pratim, the tzir prati, is one with the etzem. Ichad pratim etzem. This hadgosha that Chassidus is ma'ached the pratim. We'll see it from the we see it in those pratim. It's Toma the Rebbe was ma'adgish b'chlal that mitzad this galus of Eirach Chassidus, it brought a new chayis into everything. But Israel the Rebbe ma'adgish saying that not only brought a new chayis into everything, and it didn't negate those pshat, brought a new chayis, but the hadgosh over here is that the prat should stay in the tzir of the prat, and there it should contain the premise. That's the hadgosh that I was going to bring out of here. It's like this. Inyona Sfiris, chelik asay. What's the hadgosh that Chassidus brings out? That gam chinas malchus atzma miyuchedes misfiris hayisayid. At shenas l'nechet melech havikayim. That malchus is a makar l'nevraim. So not the pshat that Sfiris, you say this midis, in other words, you say this the elokus, which is higher than a yachas tezulas. Malchus is yachas tezulas. We're saying that malchus kfi shehu is miyuchet the Sfiris hayisayid, is miyuchet with the Ein Sof. That's ichud hapratim me'etzem. Now would be megalas tamas the midas shalamadami malchus. That malchus is one with this Ein Sof. Says ubemele in achta she'ened levade eine shaloi yesh nemitzias eilamas. The havan of achtas havaya haste. Not that the Eibush is the only the einziger God. He's the only that eined levade is no other mitzias outside of Elokus. There is no mitzias of Welt. There's no other mitzias. But the pshat is nicht was eine shaloi yesh nemitzias eilamas. Pshat is nicht was nicht mitzias. Ki im shegam eilamas atzmim kamei shehem nimtzaim b'mitziyusam umugdarim megadas man amakim. They're one with atzmim serin itself. Why ain't it Lavade? Nicht was nicht stuck in Welt. Because what's Welt Guf is Elokus, is Ein Sof. What's the Metzias of Welt? The true reality of what Welt is, the Metzias of Welt is the Metzias of Ein Sof. That's Ichadaf. We're bringing out there's a higher truth and therefore negating the Pratim. The Hadgasha of Chassidus is nicht megalaz an hecher zach. To bring it at this, the ultimate hecher zach, but the Hadgasha is that that's the mitzias of the prat. It's not Shel of the mitzias of the prat. Sudah Welt. And Welt, the way it is mukder and zman amakim. And what is this substance of this reality? Atzmas Ein Sof. It's a limited being, but what's the amitis amtzias of Welt is Holocaust. Yeah, there was spoke many times that that's a different touch. The touch is that the mitzias of the nimtzaim is amitis imotzi v'lukus. So it's a different idea. I'm not saying that the whole world doesn't exist. There's world, there's zman amakim, but the mitzias of zman amakim itself is an expression of v'lukus. Is the bit of that ultimate truth of etzem. Zam verstehen wie azay. What's the avon in it? But the mitzias of since atzmos is not mugdar at all. Atzmos has no hagdara. So the mitzias ha'etzem is also expressed in this form of reality of a world which is mugdar and zman amakim. And that's also a bitui of him. Huh?
More than other things?
Not more than other things. No, he's not. They were saying the gabi of malchus. The uftu is malchus. But the emphasis is the gabi everything. The atzma saying stuff is not mugdar in any gather. So since the Eibush is not mugdar in any gather, so any form of reality that exists is the etzem being expressed in such a form. Nicht the besandish. If the Eibush is bli gvul, so gvul is not him. Gvul is gvul. So the Eibush is not bli gvul and gvul. He's not mugdar at all. So any realm of reality, zman amakim. What's this mitzvah of zman amakim is also an expression of the etzem of Holocaust. Because Inyona of Edet Bavada is because everything is an expression of the truth. What's Welt? What's the Welt which is mugdar and zman amakim? Also an expression of Edet Bavada. The mitzvah of Welt is also its mitzvah is to say as the Eibush. Not that the way that you're saying that this Eibush is by negating Bas and Shtakim Welt. What is Welt to say Edet Bavada? That's what the mitzvah of Welt is. In a mitzvah chilik hadrush, gam a mitzvah sheyesh aleim tam, v'nikroim v'terasam v'shem mishpatim, misachdim v'ikrem hu aratzon shel malam mitam. Even a mitzvah sheyesh b'ei tam, in emaling finds of the ratzon. Here the Rebbe is not masber how the Rebbe says the adgosh over here is that even the mitzvah sheyesh aleim tam, the ikrem muhus of the mitzvahs which their muhus is ratzon, their muhus is Ein Sof. Fakert, what's the nekudah of tam? That because the ratzon is not mugdar at all, therefore, he's not limited that he has to be dafke in a eifim which is beyond that. This is up in the Kudah. The premise of the mitzias is the built mitzias. Inyona abriya chelik harem. Mizgam b'Inyona elam. K'mei she'im dinim le'inenu. She'abriya nasik for the mitzias v'fnei atzmei. She'lechein ein odom margishim es achidush b'chol rega v'rega. Nischachos ha'odom v'elam she'chol beikri yischachos v'chol etzem yisuzik achidush l'mayse b'reishis. Rebbe is saying here is appel. In other words, that the Inyona of Yesh Ma'ayin is not only is not only at that in the mitzias of Welt. You see, the world is Savas Yesh Ma'ayin. The shaila is the ayin is also expressed within that the Inyona of Yesh Ma'ayin should be expressed in the mitzias of Welt. That's the Shaykh. The world could only contain its mitzias, but the truth that it's Yesh Ma'ayin that can't be expressed in the mitzias of Welt. Avdem zak menish does it. That the fact that the world becomes is nischadish, that's an expression of the Yesh Ma'ayin. It means even within we're not as in other words. This idea that the Hadgasha of Chassidus is that the emes is not only from Megala and emes is hecher from Welt, but that the world contains this truth. That within the Mitzvah Sa'olim wird Zachar is gebracht. So that's brought out very strong in the Kod of Remes. That even in of Yesh Ma'ayin, it's Misvara what Tamir gesagt. That as Asert Inyan, it's not Shayat that it should be in Nizbata in Welt. Because the fact that the world was nothing, Ayin ve'efes, that's beyond its Mitzvahs. It only starts after it existed. The fact that the yesh comes mi'ayin, how could the ayin be negash in the Mitzvah Sa'olim? And then Zak Nish to say, the ultimate truth, everything is expressed in the Mitzvah Sa'olim. Because the Mitzvah Sa'olim gufa is not detached from the emes. Mitzad Atzmos, everything is an expression of him. So there's no space where the ultimate truth is not expressed. So even in Kudav Yesh Ma'ayin, Verta is gesagt in the Mitzvah Welt. The ganze emes, and the ganze emes is not Meir Psneilam Atzilis, in Elam Hazeh. So this brings out that the entire truth is reflected within the Mitzvah Sa'olim. This system, the world gets weak and the world gets refreshed. Dort and gets chares is Havas Yesh Ma'ayin, which that's the ultimate thing, which is beyond the Mitzvah Sa'olim, because the Welt b'chol heibs chom from Yesh, and that ultimate truth is expressed within the Mitzvah Sa'olim. That's Mitzvah Etzem. So there's nothing is nishla. And Mele, the ganzer emes wird gesagt in jeder Nekude von Metzies. And there's many regesh adam chelik apshat gam beidas adam achayuse nirgash kol chayuse hu mashu Yehudi. Whereas even when a person is appreciating his life, so in other words, you have where is a person able to be to access the Hachassidus, let's say. So it's able to make gesagt, Chassidus, let's say, is megale achtas Hashem. So where a yid is he's in a state that he's that he's ready to be Mesher Nafshi for the Eibishter, there leicht in the Kuntres Hachassidus v'ered muvadi. When he's in a regular day, waking up in the morning, and he's happy that that he's alive this morning, the Hachassidus is going to have an effect on him. When he's in that mode in his life, that he's appreciating the fact that he's able to breathe, and he's thanking the Eibishter for the fact that he's alive. There's going to be the Hachassidus. Dartim can sich mehr sein. Hachassidus is megale the Chavez Elokut, which is higher than Elam is. So where is it going to be nergash? It's going to be nergash when a person is connected to that aspect of his life that the Chavez, that there's mehr dort in the Eker from Elokus. Auf dem sagt nicht das. When a person wakes up in the morning and he's thinking about he's thanking the Eibishter for the fact that he's alive, the Hachassidus is also that what's the Rebbe's lashon here? Even there is nergash that the whole life only has worth the fact that he's a yid. Ich dort, even when he's in a state, not in a state of Mesiras Nefesh, lebt and est and trinkt, and their gufi has the hergesh that the whole value of life is the fact that he's a yid and that he's able to do what the Eibishter wants. That's even though the as able to gesagt, Chassidus is connects a person to air, which the air l'chur is beyond. Mit vergessen wegen die Sachen. Other tchumim, a person is learning something which is miyak, which is strengthens our core in the mile of tzura, let's say. Mile of siguf, I don't know exactly, the mile of ruchnis. So that when he's eating, he's not going to be in touch with what that chacham is teaching him. If that chacham wants to give you a sense in some edel azar, so when you're going to be in a state of in an edel state, you're able to be sensitive to what that Indian is telling you. When you're in a state of eating and in that moment that you're interested in esna bissel, you're not going to be margish. By Chassidus, in every mode a person is. There's that shpach Chassidus there. He's living his life and he's not in the middle of dvekas and davening. You think about Mesiras Nefesh or rest or trinkt or shlaf, and he's waking up. And there a yid has the hergish that the value of all these things is the fact that he's a yid. That's also misat this nekuda. So drink Torah in every aspect.
The Rambam even Hachassidus says that Chacham Nikar.
Okay, but Pashas the Rambam. What's the Tesh Chacham Nikar? But the fact that he's a Chacham, you're able to tell in the way he walks. What's the godless of that? I'm saying that's something else. I'm saying a person that's the Pashas of the Varm, person that's Chacham in the Rambam means a person that behaves in the correct way. A mensch was 40 al pi yesher musar. So it affects everything. He doesn't walk around like via tzedreiter, get the room normal, and he behaves normally. Okay, that's macholish. He eats in edel away. Why is that a still to this? The Rebbe touches always the Rambam differently. That the chacham nikar, that his chacham is nikar, even in achilu shtir. The Rebbe touches beheshem to this word. That a chacham nikar is that his chacham is nikar and everything. Not pashas. You say a correct person, so he's going to eat correctly. He's going to sleep correctly. He's going to do things. Everything's going to be. He's going to do it in the correct and moral way. They're saying something else. His chachma is expressed in everything. That's what the Rebbe is saying here. That the pnimius inyan is expressed in every aspect of a person's life. That's the Hachassidus. But if it's an Indian prati, if it's Indian mugdar, let's say Musar is coming to explain the mile of ruchnis and how the pchisis of Elam has it. But when a person's in the mode that ich punkt, he woke up in the morning now and he's not margish that Elam has is garnish so he right now he has appetite for a shtickle fish dart. So then it's leicht beim nicht what the Teres and Musar is telling you. But shaking Chassidus in any mode a person is, there's the hergish in you. Lammers in Sifit Ches. Yeah, Pia now there was something interesting. Is that said that Chassidus is etzem, and etzem is not shel or anything. Etzem is the primis of everything. But the Rech verstehen that there were about before 4 dogmas of the Rabbeim Masbergen that was besteht the of Chassidus this and this in you. So Paul the Hamad Nezach. I mean, here the Astal was to the Chassidus. The Shiur said in, and this way said this, and there's more pisgam which is brought. So what's the end of Chassidus? That Rebbe Glata say everyone's saying a different mile. Look at Aimim, yes, and was it the Zayd the Gewalt with this and this, a different biurim. So what's the? So Rebbe says, "Apia now Juvnu dir Rebbe saying Amro Kama Mailas Prati Shebechsidus, Shezo Inyona Shlachsidus." Why? Ki Av Shemailas Elu, Chassidus is Ein Sof. That's what the Rebbe said before. You say in the Indian Prati, Chassidus a Duvgaton that Chassidim Ein Mishpacha, let's say, or that the Rebbe is nicht elm. The Chayes call many things. They're themselves Inyan Prati, and Chassidus is Ein Sof. So they're mistake. But once you have Ein Sof, so in the Yachas of the Rab with the Talmud is going to be an Eifen that he's not elm. In every aspect of life, it's going to be now mitzad mehusa inyan. Every aspect is going to be different. So look, see, the Rebbe says here, since Chassidus is the inyan atzmi, so mele everything is affected by the Chassidus. So in every prat, Chassidus had an effect. So mele, what I'm saying, the Rebbe saying is, you say the famous story with the Samar Tzedek, the Alter Rebbe. So they asked him. The Alter Rebbe said, asked him, "Who is Zayda or something?" He says, "The nose, that's the Zayda's nose. It's not Zayda. Where's the bird? That's the Zayda's bird." And then, so then they continued Epis, and the Tzemach Tzedek Epis fell, or something fell on the floor. He started crying, and the Alter Rebbe went and picked it up. So the Tzemach Tzedek said, "Das is Zayda." So the Alter Rebbe is saying, "Achas is doing a Frim Shur Sadin. Das Chassidus." Not that in them the whole Chassidus is for the sake of the Frim Shur Sadin. With the fact that a person is able to go beyond the letter of the law, that was asked before, how that's only mitzad because it's nirgash beim Ein Sof. So when Ein Sof is nirgash, in the aspect of din, the effect is going to be the Frim Shur Sadin. So that's Chassidus. Not that in them bashteit the whole Inyan Chassidus. In every nekuda pratis, every Chassidus is the Inyan Atzmi, and Mamela every prat was affected by the Eir Chassidus. So in every prat, you say when it was affected, you say that's Chassidus. That's what I'm saying. In every the Rebbe brings before the beer why the Frim Shur Sadin is dafki mitzad yichida. You have the Frim Shur Sadin. The nekuda is within every aspect of a yid, mitzad yichida shebenefesh is different. It's affected by it. So they say das Chassidus, not that in them besteht the ganze in Chassidus. Okay, that's why the Rebbe is saying fakert. The reason why the Rabbeim didn't say that Chassidus is starting in Sof, because the Nekuda of Etzem is that every prat possesses him. Every Nekuda pratis possesses him. Ad the prat Yisrael Katan Kalbi never should be given that. Pia Klal, the Rebbe brings always the mashal that you say the sun is reflected by one little drop in the water. The same type of thing. And Etzem is a Zaman Zach, which is not too big. Since he's not defined by anything, so every single Indian Prati possesses the entire Etzem. The entire Ein Sof. It's misvated.
And if it's not there, that means
it's not the Etzem. Yeah. The Etzem mitzad Muhusa is the premise of everything. And if a person is connected, it's going to affect every aspect of his life, and every aspect it's going to contain the entire Etzem. Pia Klaus knows close mit Seif von darf recall ma shach das im shach zbkhina tachtene yes there's wo bringt chares tiefer the Kuntres etzem of Chassidus. Every prat the etzem contains, but where is brought out they say not close with Seif means wo gets chares the Kuntres apnimis darf be Seif. You say mashal pnimish certain things Mrs. Nefesh. So avad the way Chassidus has an effect on everything which no other Indian could have an effect on things but Chassidus has an effect. But we're certain Giluim Anyanim Nailim, Gulim can affect an Anyanim Nailim. In a bleak volch, Veis, Rotzen, Lamalim, and Tamadas can affect in higher keches of the person. Mashe Inkin, you say Nas Klasim Seven to be piled by Nadregas Nemuchis, Giluyim don't reach as a Nidrik Azah. So where is brought out in a sharper way than the Kuntres Etzem Chassidus in the fact, in the how far it has an effect. And Seif on that. Let's get to Rebbe Reid. Derek Shingar, I'm all able to see, no? Derek Shingar. I'm all Yam No, I'm able to see, eh? They're on. Good. Now, let's say them. Good. So the Rebbe said, "Pia, the Lashon Asla Sim Seif on Daf. Gary, come on, Shachsidus Mishachs B'Shnei Techteni Yisrael. Ad Lafir Estavet Nam Shebaham is Chutz Sheba Adam. Yelgav Edim Husa Adam. So even machen the Tevet Nam Shebaham is. Ulamata Yisrael Bir Chalka Be'elam Chutz Shem Chutz L'Adam. Mizbata Oz B'Yeser Etzem Oz. Means every Nekuda B'Etzem contains and expresses the Etzem. But who gets chares in a aggressor most in the Kuntres Etzem is in the fact that Chassidus has an effect on lower madrigas. That was going to see later. That was Mevar and Sifites. V'lechein hidgesh shekmuch admur v'kava kam v'sichesov. Shkol inin shalem de Chassidus tzarich laviyah b'payil. Ki al dei aveda b'poil dafka tefsim hu Hachassidus. It's not that. Friedrich always speaks about the mile of a bechain or of aveda b'poil. So they always say, why is Friedrich always madgish aveda b'poil? Because the Indian is at the end of the day, Mazal Zayin Yerushalayim. I mean, learn Chassidus, learn Chassidus is not going to have an effect. So the Friedrich was saying it for the sake of religiously he's saying it. What's the very answer? The Saf Kosav that took on Yerushalayim. The Rebbe is saying it that it's not another. Friedrich was saying it's not the Nekudas Hachassidus. The whole Nekudas Hachassidus is etzem. If it doesn't affect everywhere, so then it didn't reach. So it's not the Nekudas Hachassidus. Not if you're saying that if you say someone says I'm giving you a whole drasha, if you're not going to change your ways, there was no point of everything that I said. That's okay. It's something else. Friedrich was not saying it for the sake of being Meir for Yerushalayim now. Friedrich was saying it. The Inyona Hachassidus is the Inyona Atzmi, and the Nekud of Inyona Atzmi is that you don't divide every prat is durchgenommen from them. Biz the nidrik is even your meister should change. Everything should change. So if you say someone learns a Blad Gemara, learns Allah and Shulchan Aruch, so you learned it, you know the ideas. Now, if you don't do what it says, it's not going to be a chisaron in the learning. You learned it, you understood it, didn't very well. The pile sefalt Yerushalayim darfum message in Yerushalayim. That's it's not going to be a chisaron in the limud. The Friedrich Rebbe is saying not mitzat chisaron Yerushalayim. Friedrich Rebbe is saying it because the Inyona Hachassidus is that it's an Inyan Pnimi, it's Inyan of etzem, it's Inyan of mohos. So what Hachassidus teaches you didn't affect your ma'aseh. So it didn't. So that it is felt us in the etzem Inyan. It's not Hachassidus. In order for a yid to be in touch with the mohos Hachassidus, is dafka when the Hachassidus penetrates and reaches even the lowest darkest of his nefesh. There was a nuts to Seifan. So it's not only that it's not enough until it reaches further. Dafke b'Seifan gets charis the primis in. That's the most Hachassidus. And if it's not going to have an effect in ma'aseh b'poil, so the person is only taking the chitzenius Hachassidus, not the primis in. And not the chitzenius din. It's a very sharp thing because the Rebbe says weiter, the end of the Kuntres, the Rebbe get a so much love. Here's the Rebbe saying the guy with the nefesh adam. Since nos chilasim b'Seifan, so in Kol's man the Indian didn't reach the Seifan, say afichas nefesh b'hamis. So nent und achals nicht the pnimius mohos of what Hachassidus is. Because you can take the external aspect of Hachassidus. You can take be inspired by grace of Biyurim, grace of Zachen. In order for a yid to say he should access the pnimius of Hachassidus, is dafka when the Hachassidus affects even the mata. The Rebbe is saying further legabi bechlal, legabi the kavana sabriya, that Kol's man the Hachassidus didn't reach to Iber machen the Welt, machen adire betachtenim. So then, Kol's man the Hachassidus is only affecting the pnim, didn't affect the Metzias Ha'elam, chutz ha'shei chutz ha'lamata imenu. So hat nish gescheiches noch the primis of Hachassidus is. The primis of Hachassidus is the primis of Hachassidus a person accesses. When is it brought out openly? The Nekudas Hachassidus when the Hachassidus affects the lowest and the tacht and shein tacht lamata imenu. Because dafka mitzad the etzem, there's no limit of where it reaches. So the etzem is going to be brought out when the Hachassidus affects everywhere. If the Erech is only affecting a person, the higher aspects of a person's life, so that's the chitzenius of Hachassidus, and not just the primis. There's a bechla. Calls man the Erech Hachassidus didn't reach every nekuda in the globe there, so that's Hachassidus is gebracht on nekudas Hachassidus. On the chelik chitzeni. Yeah, but I'm saying people have this tefisa sometimes that in the there was chveis the primis in his bananos, so they had more access to Hachassidus more than someone bringing Hachassidus to Makim Rachik. The Rebbe says here that the Mohos Hachassidus is dafke teifus in the fact that Hachassidus is cheder everywhere, that it's a Nekuda of Etzem. The fact that it has Ashpa and Pnim, that doesn't bring out the Nekuda of Etzem. Because even a Gili is able to have Ashpa and Pnim. The fact that the Hachassidus goes to Makim, goes everywhere, that's dafke mitzad Etzem. So a tfis in the Etzem you have dafke when Hachassidus is peil b'keiches nemuchim. No, it's chalasim b'seifan. So there's a b'chlal. You'll see later that it was more.
How could it be that it's not happening? Like that, how could it be that there was a stage that there is a stage where the etzem is not affected?
Okay, there's shlavim in the Gili of Hachassidus. The Rebbe says himself, there's the way it is in Torah itself. Saying there was darkest in this Gili the way it's nimshach, this b'chines ha'etzem of Hachassidus. Lepel, there's darkest the way it was. I don't know exactly how it works, but there was darkest in the way it was Nizgala and the way it was. The world didn't become that way.
If it's taka it, how could it be that it's not?
But the world has to be in sync, has to be fully in touch with this core of what the world is. The pearl, that's the kavana sabriya that a yid should make a dirib tachtenim. The world in tzadatzma is not doesn't sense itself that way. Chassidus affected the world, affected a person, but it still didn't become the basic reality of the world. That's when Mashiach comes. That's going to be, will be Nezgala what the Metzias of Welt is. We won't have to affect the world. It's going to be Nezgala what the Metzias of Welt is. But there's Shlavim. I'm saying the Chatchila in the Eirach Chassidus, it said there was Baal Shem Tov, the Alter Rebbe, and it says in Chassidus the Baal Shem, the Alter Rebbe, the fact that he was Malbas Chassidus and Seichel, was Megala the Etzem of what Chassidus was. It means Mitzad the Baal Shem Tov itself still wasn't expressed. It was an Eir of Pshittus, an Eir of Ein Sof, but still wasn't expressed the ultimate Pshittus of this Eir, that it's not Mugdar together. The Baal Shem Tov, in Seichel, you weren't able to explain it in Seichel. It means it had a certain Agdara. And the Alter Rebbe brought it down in Seichel, so that brought out the Etzem of Chassidus, that it's not defined, therefore could even be in Seichel. But even according to Alter Rebbe, a Chutza, a certain Tziyurim of Elam Hazer were a stirit to Chassidus. And Dafka later there is where Chassidus is able to be affected in Chutza Shein Chutza Lamati Menik Pshute. There's no phase of reality that's not a kedi to Chassidus. So there is brought out much deeper how Chassidus is Mahos, how Chassidus is Etzem. There's darkness in this. I'm saying this is Mizbat to be Yoiser in Kuntres Hachassidus, where the Etzem is nitfas dafka in the fact that it's Peil Mechutz. I don't know exactly the darkest, but every generation was mamshich more the Primis Hachassidus more and more.
So if a person's Tevin Ashmavis didn't start changing, it means he's not learning Chassidus properly.
Yeah, we're saying why you asking? We said you're asking now. It's affect the shadow of the Meiser. I'm saying we have to learn Chassidus. It's going to affect. Chassidus will have an effect in Ashmavis. That's a Metzias. If you learn enough, versteht it. I know what you mean Ashmavis, but verstehe. Yeah. No, I'm saying is there's degrees in everything. There's degrees in everything. Talking about a Yid, the Mamshke saying, Firas Tev Nefesh Ba'amis, that how many tzaddikim, that Rebbe says, Roa Kodesh Baruch Hu tzaddikim shei muatim. Being hapach the Tev Nefesh Ba'amis, that's not, I'm saying, tzaddikim are, so, I don't know what this means, but Chassidus has an effect, and in every aspect, yeah. He passed away today, Wolfson from Borough Park.
Was he?
Who was he?
Yeah.
Ich weiß nicht, Punkt, he was a Mashiach in Torah Vadas. He's a very chashviyid. I don't know ich habe ihn nicht gekannt.
Very give him a bracha for Chassidus.
Ich gehört, also.
How old is he?
I don't know. 99 maybe. Ich weiß nicht. But he was. Huh? I don't know the details. I don't know his background. But I heard they used to say that the Friedker says about Alter Rebbe, the Alter Rebbe is in Sham Chadash. He said that he thinks that the Rebbe is also in Sham Chadash. As they trachter. No, what I'm saying is that the Indian of bringing Chassidus Tatash and Tatel and that. Say there. No, he was very. I'm saying lapel, the Indian of bringing out this and Chassidus is etzem, and that there's no makim, and that Chassidus is dafke nimshach lamata ma all these Inyona. That's the Rebbe brought out this Inyona. I'm saying it wasn't to bring Chassidus bechutza shein chutza lamata imenu. In Torah Shalom it says that a fatzim emenus chutza means to be meipes Chassidus to Yid which doesn't have avavira or something. Chutza means a Yid which doesn't have avavira. I'm saying the whole musagim of chutza is different. The whole musig of a tachten was a different degree of a tachten. You were ever saying a tachten? The atzvus is not mugder. Every single mitzvah. I'm saying that's there's darkness in the Amr Zema. There was like weiter. So you say, I remember I heard this from, but he just reminded myself this nice that he has different stories. The Mishav Wolfson, but he was once going by. He was a Psasandik. This is called for Hachassidus, and he's going to the dollars. He was thinking on the way that he wants to ask the Rebbe bracha for Hachassidus and Ruchnis. Gashmis, what does he need to have? He has to be rich. What's that for saying Reich? He would rather ask the Rebbe for Hachassidus Ruchnis. So when he buying and took his dollar, someone said that he was a Sandik. So he said, "This is called for Hachassidus. The Rebbe Hachassidus is dafke begashmis. Ruchnis Hattershem." and the Shiras Begashmis, Punkt, yeah. K'mei shebchinas ha'ein sof sheb'chassidus, v'chol is gam b'chol chalkei ha'Torah. B'chlolus, all chalkei ha'Torah ein sof. But where is it brought out in a sharper way? Where is it brought out the pshitas of the Inyan dafke the way it's nimshach l'mata mata? So al derech zeh kein gam bitui ein sof. This Inyan that vu sagt sich hareis, the heder agdore of the etzem, is that the amshachose ad la tachton b'yeser. Vu gets hareis the amitis heder agdore of the etzem, the fact that he affects even the tachton b'yeser. Lafich and there's two ways of affecting the tachton. You affect the tachton by being mevatalit, or by transforming the tachton. The Rebbe's hadgosh over here is that Vu brings the premise of Chassidus, not that it affects Lamata Mata and that you're deich the Mata Mata. That it's Nimshach Lamata Mata and it transforms the Metzias Hamata Gufa that it should be a Keli Telikus. Lafach Gam Eise Velasis Keli Telikus. Dorten gets Chareis the Nekudas Ein Sof of Chassidus. So the Rebbe says, this Nekudi also have Bechol Satera. El Sheikar Einin of Chassidus. Yeah, let's see what the Rebbe's about. The Rebbe's B'tech Einin, yeah? Sagt er sich. Zemash Amar Azal, Barasi Yitzra Harde, Barasi Leiteira Tavla. Politic is out. The Gemara says, the Ebesha says that he's mischadet. He regrets that he created the Yitzhara. He says he created the Yitzhara, but he created Barasi Leiteira Tavla. Politic is out. They say, the Ebesha made the Yitzhara, and he created Teira in order for Teira to be a Tavlin for the Yitzhara. That's why the Ebesha made Teira. Barasi Leiteira Tavla. They say, I created this, and I created that in order to help for this. And that's the fire that the ganze Torah. So the Chura Tamur. B'chol elam esel maza hu hayeser tachten shitach l'matei men. It's the lowest darga in Metzius. Be'el haza gufa yitzahara mescharta l'kadosh baruch hu shebroi. It's the lowest within elam haza itself. Mescharta means that there's no mindless. That's the Tajah somewhere. Pshat the Ibish says regrets. There's no positive qualities in the Yitzhara. Elam haza is a low world, but elam haza, let's say, expresses Godless Hashem in a very limited way. It's a hard as garnish. What's it's hard? I mean, real essen and drinking and schlafen. There's no positive traits in the Yitzhara. Kivin shkol elam is afil elam say elien is koloch shel legabe Torah. Mazet von andere Orach Chazal that in whole Metzius elam is koloch shel legabe Torah. Lechenk shiba dovat Torah bezeh shkol elam is leinu tachten implement dik mitzvah shel Torah. Nena shazeh any if you bechlam beyachas velt the Torah that you get in it. David's miras karl. Torah says what was the David's miras? What was the einish David's miras karl? Because he was miyachas. He was ma'irach some connection to the velt and Torah. And ein the Torah's lashon is that they got an einish because ein l'shapcha klal betilas chayes kol elam. Even though he's bringing out the ein areh. So, and because man avchem shel chol ein shum makom lemesh but rias at Torah but they tavlen litzar the ganze Torah beschaffen geworden bechdem soll kennen soll kennen handeln mit Yitzhara. Yitzhara what's has no value at all. Oh, keep me going. Yes. So what's the pshat in that? Pia now move on. There was like this. Yitzhara has zero qualities, has zero miles, and we say it means there is no positive trace in the Yitzhara. There isn't even the potential that it should be a keli telekus. Mitzad the chaymer of the Yitzhara, there's no traits there. You say there's no elements in the Yitzhara that if you're going to work on it well, you'll educate it, you'll be able to make it a keli telekus. You say you have a keli. So if you're going to sand it well and you'll do this, you'll do that, you'll be able to make it. It should be a nice keli. You have the Tzahara, there's nothing to work with. It's a fashimul ans. You have something that there's no qualities there. They're able to, by educating it or training it, you'll be able to make it a keli telekus. There's no way they can make keli telekus. So the fact that you're able to take a Tzahara, and thus salit ibermach, not only to be deichet, you don't need the keich atzmos dafke, but to take this Tzahara and to transform it, that this mitzvah should be a keli telekus, not to make it, not to cancel it, that this mitzvah is gufa. Should be transformed, that it itself should be a keli for Lugus. And if it itself should have, let's say, take the Nefesh Bahamas, the Midas Av of the Nefesh Bahamas, and this Av of the Nefesh Bahamas will have an Avos Hashem. That's Dafke Mitzad Keich Atzmos. Dafke the Etzem, which is not Mugdar at all, so Mitzad the Heder Agdaras Etzem, any Inyan, any Tzir of Mitzias could be a keli for him. Is able to express it. But that's Dafke Mitzad Etzem. Any other Inyona of Eidus Nalakus, since Eid is a certain Inyan Prati, however high in Pshittas the Inyan is, but there's Eid and then there's the Metzias which is Hepech there. We'll see the Rebbe touches. Pia now moving. Etzem HaTeirah Shemiyechedes B'atzmus Yisbarach means Baras LeTeirah Heis, the Atzmius of Teirah. saying Barasi Yetzer Hara, Barasi L'Teira Tabla. Vu brings Hareis the Atzmius of Teira. The Barasi means not the etzem bria that the Ramban teaches bria is yesh ma'ayin. The etzem mitzias of Inyona, that's mizbat in the lashon bria. Once you have the etzem chaymer, so there's tzuris and there's this different inyanim which are nitaisif on the etzem mahus chaymer. But the bria satayra, that's the etzem mahus of teira. Etzem atayra shemichadis vasmusis barach. Vu gitzach das hareis. Where do you access, or where is it brought? Where is it actualized? The etzem pnimius of what teira is. That's dafke bezeshi tavn litzar. Why mikim shakeach letabel es yetzer hara. Ulahaf chilet teiv mitzad esmusis barach. Dafke. Rebbe teaches. Vabir bezeh. Means nemena ini which is ra. That means that ini which has no potential for teiv, and not to cancel it, but to transform this into bad. That's dafke mitzad esmus. I'm just bring up the point that I was saying here. Just what's saying. Let's say you have a kid that's a wild little boy. But if you so one way is there's potential that he's able in order to learn. Let's say you have to have zisfleish. You have to be able to you can't be wild in order to be. He has to be disciplined. And wild's a stitter to being disciplined. Let's say. But so one way is that you find that there's you train him where you find some potential in him that he's able to control himself. You have to find some aspect that he's able to be miyushiv. What if you have a kid that is there's nothing there that he's able to? So there's avil there. There's no yishuv adas klal klal. But another thing that you instead of the inyan of say the inyan of wildkeit should be in a eifim which is able to use that inyan itself for lukus. That inyan itself, let's say, learning. So azayd mitzad mitzit teva advarim. In order to have atzlach in learning is dafka mitzad yishuv adas, and the inyan of chveis being wild is a stitter for that. Take the Hamas, use its tchunis, and that itself should become teif. To use that for the sake of good. Like being wild could contribute to learning. Let's say. Instead of wild being something which the results of it's going to be heipech chveis of Torah, heipech of Yerushalayim. This Wildkeit Gufe to use it for Hisaf in Yerushalayim, for Hisaf in learning, for Hisaf in Torah mitzvahs. That's dafka mitzad etzem. Mitzad the Darga which has some tzir. So then there's a tzir. Tzir of the Shaham says heipech elokus, the way elokus comes with tzir. Mitzad the etzem, which is not mugder in any tzir. So any form of reality could express it, without negating that form. That form Kameshu could express it. That's that conclusion. This is Abir Bezeh. Kol hagiluim gam hayeser nailim liyeser mugdarim begeder vigili means what's their definition? His galus, gilui. So mitzvah sera, which is not gilui. I'm using this example. Let's say learning is connected with hasmada, while this is heipach hasmada. Is ader ebeshter steht bis galus. In the tchun of Nefesh B'Hamis, Elokus steht nicht bis galus. Elokus steht behelm. So they're mugder that a mitzias, which is heipach and mitzias sera mitzias, which their Elokus is not mer begali. So that's is menaged aleim. So they can have an effect on that reality, and that mitzias is menaged to them. So only lilachem b'yiv achi yivata legamri. They could cancel it. As I said before, like since he's a gili mispashit, so he's shelo. The tchun of gili is that he can be shelo things, but nutzen their mitzias for the sake of elokus. They have agdara. Their agdara is that in vas faraif and herzach elokus by zay elokus begili, but something that within their mitzias is elokus. That's ervigili. Their gather is that elokus is expressed within their reality. They're ervigili. Mashega the mitzias of Nefesh B'Hamis. The mitzias mitzad the tchunas of the mitzias is heipach elokus. But mitzad the etzem there's no agdara of mitzias. V'rakat tzmusis baruch shu posha b'tachas apshitas umushlo mikol hatziyurim. V'gam in shayach shum menagid elov b'meili b'chot l'shaneis will have to l'tev. That sounds like it's two separate pratim. Atzmus is mufshit b'tachlis, but I was saying a word beyond that. It's not shayach something which is not him. It's not shayach for saying we use the word posh b'tachas apshitas, so it sounds like saying he's totally undefined. Once we got. It's not a kud of ultimate pshitis. There's not shaykh a metzias that's not him. The idea that there's something that's a different form than him, or that could be against him, azaz zachanishta. what you mean Ra. I'm saying what the Rebbe speaks many times. There's what clip is. This the I'm saying. No, not the mashal zayin. I'm saying is the Rebbe saying Yetzer Hara means. It's pratim here, but what I'm saying is. Think a simple dogma, let's say. The Torah says in Tanya, the kavanah to make a deriv tachtein, the Rebbe brings always what's the kavanah to make a deriv tachtein? That the tachtein should stay at tachtein and still is going to be a deriv. Not that you're going to cancel the mitzvah Seif. What's the pshat? See, on one end you say there's two separate nekudas. There is the Eibush created a world. Let's say a world doesn't sense its maker. Yesh. What's the yesh itself? The agdar of yesh is that it says that the Eibusher didn't create it, or the agdar of yesh is that it only senses itself. It's two separate things. Klippus is that they're neged Hashem. Klippus is the aspect that the Nivra says the Eibusher did not make me. So that is Heipach Halukus, and that it's not a menaged. There's all the Eibusher's Hefrider Me'achdos is. I mean, this aspect of saying that the Eibusher did, but what they're saying is the Nikud of yesh is he says someone's verkocht in himself. He's not saying the Eibusher didn't create me. He's only senses himself. That's the Nikud of Yeshus. There's no bitay of Elokus in that mitzvah. That's Ra. Ra means there's no expression of Elokus means that there's a Nikud that's a bittul. There's a trace back to its marker. There's a mitzvah of Welt of Nefesh Bahamis which there's no Nikud of Taif. It's just its own self. Not that its Hagdara is not saying that the Eibusher didn't create me. It's about himself. Mitzad Etzem, even as Inyan, which Mitzad his Inyan is himself. Der Zachalein could be that mitzad etzem that gufa could be a dirle is barich. That its home is going to be to say in a dolvade. Not the nekudas eklipis. That's a different meaning. Yeah, that's the business difference.
Yisera doesn't mean.
It doesn't mean klippa. Klippa means neged Hashem. Klippa means that the party said li that the Eibishter keichiv oitzim yadi asli yisachaylaza. The Eibishter negates elokus. Kfira b'Hakadosh Baruch. Kfir Bagesh Baruch Hu is in of Klippa Mamish. Klippa is Heipach Halukus. Yeah, that's Klippa, isn't the Klippa is in Shiur. But we're talking about the Nekudas HaMetzias of the Yesh, not the fact that the Yesh says it goes against its marker. The Tchun of only self. You're not aware of other things. He's saying Metzias of a Yesh Nilam Hazeh. He's Margish himself. So that's Metzias. Not he never thought about who created him. The Agdara is not that he's not against the Eibusher. He's just he's happy. He wants what's good for him. That in and of something that his home is to want what's good for him. He's not against the Eibusher. That's not the Agdara of this Metzias. Klippus is, which is the elements of Welt, which is Neged Havaya. Mashiach the Yesh is not Neged Havaya. Some Metzias. So Mitzad Gilui over some Metzias, which in his Tchunis, in his Metzias, there's no his galus of the market. Which Inyona is in was Faraifen is a lukus Meir in through the Metzias of Zakt Chareis a lukus. So Metzias, which in the Metzias there's no trace back to its marker, so that's a menaget to there, and there can't affect such a Metzias. Mashiach and Asmus, which is not Shaykh a menaget for it. So even a Metzias which mitzad the tchunis of this Metzias, we don't see how it traces back to the marker. But since Asmus is not Mugdar Klal, anything could express Asmus. Any form of reality could express Asmus. Yeah, that's pratim. Maybe we'll see the. We'll see. Go back to our. Interessante Sache. Der Loschen steht in Posuk, Gabi Torah steht, Ve'eye esle omon, misachekes lefanov. That's the Loschen. So when the Posuk is mitayr Torah, the Torah is miyuchad with Atzmus. It's the highest daggers of Torah. The Loschen of the Posuk is misachekes lefanov. So Rebbe touches like this. In Chassidus state that tzchaik shalomayla ba the bitter with tikkun acheshach. Yeah, the Rebbe is meirich into there. Kemosh lamlachim that they make a fight to darten shvardim, the melchama darten, and that's meir tzchaik. So the Rebbe says in Torah that tzchaik shalomayla comes from bitter acheshach. Sapach sheichel neir. Does the pshat that Torah, the way Torah is bad, v'zeh misachekes lefanov. Dafka di b'chinas is sapach sheichel neir. Misachekes shebetayra. This aspect of Torah which transforms the lowest of the low. Dort nach gets Chareis Torah is connected with Primus Atzmus. Mis Batas Primus Yusek Meishi Michaz Primus in itself Baruch Ulufan. Mis Achekes, the Eden of Torah, the Torah's pile, the transformation of the Ra, does bring Torah the Primus of Torah, the Torah is in Primus Atzmus. And if you look in the again, art it's 120. See much cause befnim yuvan aloshn baras litera tavlin. L'chores it's hard it's tzarich levat. The comes in asad they take Maimer Zal mashchele bes medrash. Im even hu nimayach means it's dissolved. Vim bars lo mispeitz. Ilu a tavlin in mevatl satav shel kem adrab mit tablis nisne mitam. What's the point of the season of the seasoning? So if it's to give a good taste to this food. You want to eat something else, but the point there's a certain quality in the carrot, whatever you're eating, and the tavlin enhances the taste of this food. It's not canceling it. So Shabarasli Teira tavlin. So Rebbe teaches that the people that Rebbe sagt in the Prim is verstandig. It says, Masha tzarech la'abdei hu k'shapag ba menuchol zeh tzahar mezgara b'cha. Al asma say tzahar hu etzem keich ha-mesaveh tzarech l'tavli l'hafcha l'tev k'vifnim. זהו שאומר ברס לתיר תאבן כי הכוונה ברס לתיר לעצם התיר. הכוונה ששל הנברס. ועצם התיר מזבט לביבי זה שכן ביבי חזר לתיר. The Rebbe says, so there's two problems. There's the tzir al-apoil. What I'm saying is there's the etzem uhus of the nefesh b'hamas is keich ha-mesaveh. Keich ha-mesaveh means he wants what's good. He wants to feel good. That's keich ha-mesaveh. Then there is someone wants in order for him to feel good, he's getting angry at someone else. Kas zalav. Let's say it's naveira. An naveira kamen shtiver machen. But that's the tzir does come in a shtiver machen. That's already hipich ratzonalian. You say someone wants to feel good, and therefore, because it's Shabbos, and even though the Eibusher said that he's Mirish Negeva, the Eibusher sagt, "Ich will feeling good." When you're going against him, that's klippus already. And that's coming to shtiver. Does that from ma'abed sein. But the shayla is the etzem uhus of the nefesh b'amas is not to want dafke to eat chaylev. He wants to feel good. Punkt, feeling good is going to happen sometimes that it's going to be against the Eibusher's will. And at that time, he's going to say, I want to do what's good for me. That's already klippus. That's already the tzira. The etzem hus of the Nefesh Bahamas is that he wants to feel good. Mitzat giluyim, the tchuna of someone wanting to feel good cannot be a keli telukus, let's say. Keach ha-mes'ave, a keach to have a good sensation. We're not against the Eibusher. It's a mitzias involved. What's the mitzias? A keach which wants to enjoy, wants to have pleasure. Feel margers and good. So the tzir, which already, if the Indian of the taiva is that it's when it's a stira to the ratzna ali and nishvig and the menetzach, that's stuff from abed. But the etzem muhus of what the nefesh b'hamas is, that mitzad geluyim, you can't add a spice to it, and that itself should be used as a keli, or that itself should bring out olukus. Masheke mitzad etzem, this keich hamsav gufa could be nepach. I understand exactly what's the pshat of the keich hamsav never, but that's the
Want Hashem.
This, yeah, but I'm saying is wanting Hashem with this keich hamsav. There is the nefesh kisses, the muhus of the av, nefesh is a different type of muhus than the keich hamsav. It's two different types of mitzias. Nefesh kiss to begin with, it's an av. It's not the yesed of the midah is not that it wants to feel good. That element of av doesn't exist there. It appreciates the truth. It's a different type of the etzem nature of the av is different. Now shahamas is not. It's not a midah to love things. Punkt. Since it's an elam hazeh, it likes elam hazeh. It's the teichen of the av is it wants to. It likes itself and it wants to feel. It's a keach lis abbas. It's a keach to sucht geschmack for himself. And that midas ava that with this mitzias tav avas Hashem, that's a chiddush, that's a pellet. There's dafka mitzad keich ha'atzmus. In other words, mitzad alpiteva, this midas ava cannot be in a tzir of wanting a lukus, of wanting the truth, because by nature it wants what's good for it. That with this midas ava should be a thought of avas Hashem. That only mitzad atzmus can say as a zach.
In the ultimate place where the koyach masav is to want Hashem, whatever. That's not for it. It's not like
no, that's
I want
for the
what's
sake
best
of
for me. So
no, then it's not Avos Hashem. Someone that wants one person likes chocolate and one person likes davening. Let's say it makes him feel good. That's not Avos Hashem. That's Avos Atzmis. That's Vedazach. Avos Hashem means that you like the truth. So with this midah sa'ava, which is an ava for self, with that midah to like Hashem, that's a pellet. That's dafka mitzad atzmus kan zayin as a zach. That's a pellet tak. So that's a materia. You're able to transform this midas ava to lukus. Yeah, that's verstehen. Das ist nicht das Bühne. It's not so push. But the Rebbe writes to Yid, and I saw a few times he writes in a letter to Yid, als Charaim warfen in the Shlichus, with the Eser Keches of Nefesh Elokis, and with the Eser Keches of his Nefesh Bahamis. He should throw himself into his Shlichus with all his Keches, and Nefesh Elokis, and Bahamis. He should use everything. I'm saying, I don't know exactly, but someone has ambition, let's say. So, Varf Zecharain and Ganzen in the Arbeit, but all your tchunas that you have should be used in order for the sake of. But that's a Zam insert. Huh? Yeah, use out even the. Yeah, I mean, that was verstehen. Just come and put in the zeh.
Koyach HaMesava, that's the Indian of all Koyachas and Nefesh.
No, Nefesh Bahamis. The Mahus, the Nefesh Bahamis is a Koyach HaMesava. That's the Mahus.
Okay, not only Papa. Okay.
Yeah, the Mahus is the Nefesh Bahamis. Yeah, not the Tzir.
Do you think the Koyach Masava could be not about the person themselves?
Could have Abbas Hashem.
And it not be about the person himself?
Yeah, which is a pella, but that's the uftu here. It could have Abbas Hashem, but that would be a pella attack. I'm saying Koyach HaMesava is not. I'm saying it's not a pshat. Koyach HaMesava doesn't mean a koyach to want things. Punkt right now only wants Elam Hazir. If you can explain to him that the Eibishter is going to want the Eibishter. That's not the koyach. Koyach HaMesava is a koyach. Inyona is he wants to enjoy. What's the gather of Ava with the Nefesh Bahamis? The Ava the Nefesh Elokis says we have no tzir in that type of Ava, but you like something. The Ava is not focused on the self. It's not for the oif to feel good. It's this thing is precious, and he's drawn towards what's precious. A different nature of Ava. Koyach HaMesava is it's not a koyach to appreciate, to love things, to be drawn positively to things. He wants to feel good. It's a different Indian. It's not against the Eibishter. It's not discussing him. It's not the aspect of klippus. Klippus is negative. This is just he's focused on himself. That's it. It's not against anyone. But up inside Giluyim, there's no potential there, and there's no way for this Indian to be a Kedit Talukus. Inyona is focused on self. How is it going to be? How is it going to love Bittul Talukus? How could something that his whole matarda is self to focus on Elukus, which is about Bittul HaMetzias? So even a koyach which in Inyona is leis aves, with that koyach gufa, it could be Messiah to Aves Hashem. To Aves Hashem. Yeah, there's pratim. The Rebbe speaks about this in other places in different ifanim, but this is Beif and Kloli. But learning mitfach, we'll finish the Kuntres Tuesday. We'll be able to finish the Kuntres, I think.